Hello, everybody, and welcome back to a brand new episode of Collections of Cinema.
Collections of Cinema.
Cinema. With me, your super main host, Dani, and your other main host, Woifi.
This guy. First of all, welcome if you are new. The last episode was a little... First of all, it reached a lot of people, which is cool. And second, it was a little detour because usually we do one movie, and this time we did two movies, and then we also kind of talked about a movie that is in the cinema
in
right
place
now.
of our movie of the week category. And also, for those of you on YouTube, sorry that our video didn't really work. Usually we're both on, and
I put a little sorry video in front of the podcast.
Yeah, it didn't work,
Yeah, I messed up.
Yeah, but we talked for like almost an hour, and we didn't want to redo everything for a video.
So this week's movie is a summer classic that we love to watch at least once a year.
Probably more though.
Called Call Me by Your Name, or Chiamami col tuo nome.
Okay.
It's the Italian name.
It's really, really good.
It's based on the 2007 novel by Andre Achiman.
Andre
Achiman. And it's a coming-of-age romantic drama directed by Luca Guadagnino. It's one of our favorite directors. He did some really cool stuff. He did Queer. Most recently, he did Challengers, Bones and All, the HBO series We Are Who We Are, which we really like, Suspiria, the remake, A Bigger Splash, and I Am Love. He's a great guy.
He's phenomenal.
Yeah.
His work is so incredible.
If you know, you know. So this is the Blu-ray. I sadly don't have the 4K one, which is only available in the Sony Classic set. And yeah, that's a lot of money. It's $250 or something. So the movie came out in 2017, so 10 years after the novel
was released.
Thank you. It had a budget of 3.5 million, which is nothing,
that is
and
nothing.
a massive box office of 43.1 million, which is crazy. It stars Armie Hammer, Timothée Chalamet, Michael Stuhlbarg, and a bunch of other really great actors. And do you want to go into the plot quick?
Yes, it is Italy, 1983, in the summer, and they live in this. Are they there all year round?
No.
Okay, I didn't think so. But I think they summer there, and sometimes they are there in the winter.
Oh no, actually, no, they live there.
Yeah, I thought so
right
because
now,
I thought they were in this. No, they weren't in the same house at the end.
Ja, doch. It's the same house.
Okay. But anyways, so they live in this little teeny tiny town in Italy, and his father works in archaeology and has an intern every summer. And Oliver is the intern, Armie Hammer, who comes to work with his father and stays and lives with them for the summer. And the coming of age part of it is very much, it's a queer story, which is great. Very Luca Guadagnino.
Yep.
But yeah, so it's kind of a back and forth of, you can see they're both Jewish families, and you can see the struggle for Oliver, and like he and Elio, the son, start kind of getting feelings for each other, but it's not super clear in the beginning. And yeah, it's kind of just their exploration of sexuality. He also has a girlfriend, so Elio gets a little confused and is not sure about his feelings for Oliver. And Oliver is older and
24,
is more so he holds back more because of his Jewish his religious beliefs, or his background, I would say, because he's not so much
bringing up and everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, they eventually fall in love and they bond. And then obviously Oliver leaves again and leaves back Elio in a very sad state. Yeah. That's essentially the plot of the movie.
I think the great thing about this movie is that there is not too much more to the plot. It's pretty much just
it's a classic romantic.
And it's such a good summer movie because you watch it and you just like, you feel like it's even like we could watch it in winter and you feel like it's summer. Like you just feel, you get this summer feeling, and the shots are beautiful. The imagery is so pretty.
Yeah.
And you just get this like small town vibe where there's nothing happening. And so they literally just sit around, and when they're not working, they're just eating apricots and they're and doing other things with them.
Yeah. I mean, they shot in Italy, in the northern Italy region. And it's just the scenery is just beautiful. Fucking gorgeous. And they shot in June, or they started shooting in May and in June. So the best month where it's not super hot, but it's already summery. And it was shot around Crema, which was one of the regions one of the towns in the Lombardy, Lombardy, I guess. So yeah, it's just, this very dreamy Italian feeling. When you watch it, it's just beautiful. Interestingly, I mean, we watched all of them, but interestingly, I did not know that until now, that Call Me by Name is the third of the Desire trilogy. First being I'm Love, which I have on Bluray too, and The Biggest Splash from 2015, which is a remake as well, or not as well, but which is a remake. But yeah, and Call Me by Name is basically the third and last movie in this series of the Desire trilogy. That's how he called it.
It's so funny. Every time we watch this movie, I feel differently about Oliver. And like literally every time, and we've seen it so many times. And I really like Oliver's character, and I get it. I mean, I sometimes forget the time that they're in, so I forget that it's 1983 when we're watching it. Yeah. Because there are no real signs of it being 1983, and also no signs of it being modern. So you kind of forget what time you're in. Yeah,
it doesn't really matter.
It doesn't matter, but it does in the context of Oliver and his struggle with expressing his emotions with Elio, because he is so reserved, but then he kind of plays with him a little bit, and he feels, I don't know, it feels almost cruel how he is with him. Because he's 17, it feels toxic at times, but then you remember, okay, it's 1993, he's Jewish, his upbringing told him that this is wrong, and kind of the world at that time told them that it was wrong. And clearly Elio's parents are more open, but especially his father, but you don't get that vibe from Oliver that his parents would be the same. And so it makes sense how he acts, but at the same time it's like like, because it takes almost until the end of the movie for them to finally physically express their feelings for each other. And then like actually like when they go away on this little teeny trip before Oliver has to go, it's like they really get to explore what it would be like to be together. And it's sad that it's like this whole summer you could have had this and you didn't. And but it's heartbreaking.
It's
beautiful.
I feel like that's why the movie is so good, because it's technically a very realistic story. It's not it is romanticized, obviously, because of the location and because of it being a romance, but still the movie is still very honest and very lifelike, because some things just don't turn out like we want them to, and I feel like that's one of the strong suits of the movie, because it still leaves you back with this. The thing is, the ending is sad, but also very beautiful, and a lot of it, like the movie, there's a time jump after Oliver leaves. There's a time jump, and it's winter time again, and Oliver calls, and he tells Elio that he's going to get married
to a woman.
And
it's his like off on girlfriend for a couple of years, and
and that already sets off emotions. But
I break down every single time. That scene at the very end where he's just sitting in front of the fireplace and he just kind of lets the realization fall over him, like fuck, like it's officially done, you know, because he's moved on and he's, you know, it's not going to happen for us anymore. And you see it there's no talking. It's probably it's a full song length. So it's probably at least 3.5 minutes just of him sitting in front of the fireplace. And you see him kind of go through every emotion.
The only annoying thing in that scene is the fly.
But I like that they didn't reshoot it. I like that they just kept it like that.
It feels real.
Yeah.
It makes it feel real and grounded. But there is one part of the telephone call where they have this thing where he basically says, call me by your name and I call you by mine, which is their like, but that's how the whole relationship started, I guess. And he basically does that on the phone again, and he gets the right response, meaning that, first of all, he didn't forget, and that's what he said. I did not forget. I remember everything. And just like he knows what he had there, and he still appreciates it. And even though he can't be with him anymore at this point, there's still, you know, love for him. There is a sequel in form of a novel by the same author, which I'm reading actually right now, called Find Me. And it's still apparently supposed to happen.
With Luca,
but he said, the last thing he said, it's not in his priority, but that, you know, because of the complications with Armie Hammer's scandal, and he's super busy, Luca, and Chalamet, so for sure as well, because he was not as big in 2017 or 2016 when the movie was produced. So but it could still happen.
There is a scene we did not talk about that is maybe the most
peach scene,
influential scene of the movie. No, it's a great scene too.
Which scene?
With his dad.
I have the monologue here. I want to go through it actually. Should I read it?
Yes, but try to not read it super fast. Just like take
but
your time.
It's a very, so Oliver left already, and it's the last scene before the time jump, and they're in the house, and fall is already starting, and it's gross and shitty outside, and they lay on the couch, or they sit in his office. They actually sit in his office, and they talk, and his dad.
His father has the best monologue in that scene, and he's just. I feel like he's the best character in the movie.
Yeah, he's great. He says, look, you had a beautiful friendship, maybe more than a friendship, and I envy you. In my place, most parents would hope the whole thing goes away to pray that their son lands on their feet. But I'm not such a parent. In your place, if there's pain, nurse it. And if there's a flame, don't snuff it out. Don't be brutal with it. We rip out so much of ourselves to be cured of things faster that we go bankrupt by the age of 30. And have less to offer each time we start with someone new. But to make yourself feel nothing so as not to feel anything, what a waste.
Great line.
Have I spoken out of turn? And then he shakes his head. Then let me say one more thing. I will clear the air. It will clear the air. I may have come close to what you had, but I never had what you two had. Something always held me back or stood in the way. How you live your life is your business. Remember, our hearts and our bodies are given to us only once. And before you know it, your heart is worn out. As for your body, there comes a point where no one looks at it, much less wants to come near it. Right now, there is sorrow, pain. Don't kill it. And with it, the joy you felt. We may never speak about this again, but I hope you'll never hold it against me that we did. I will have been a terrible father if one day you'd want to speak to me and felt that the door shut or not sufficiently open. Yeah. It's just, I, like, to put it in context again, the time alone. It's very, it's
and for a father to have that conversation with his son without the son having brought it up or said anything, you know, it's just like he knew that. If you've seen the movie, the parents never actually see them do anything together, but they just feel it. Both of them feel that it's more than what it looks like from the outside. And his father really felt that. And he just, you know.
Also, it's a very just open communication with his son. He's 17.
Yeah.
And his father is just basically sitting him down. It's like, hey, look, this is how it is.
Mm-hmm.
This is how I can help you, or this is my advice to you going through life a little longer than you. This is not, hey, you should not feel this or you should feel this. This is just saying, if you feel something, feel it. Don't suffocate it.
Yeah.
And it's very cool because, again, it's the 80s. So it's a very open concept of dealing with your emotions, and not, especially for a man, obviously, and not just stuffing it down and ignoring it.
And just that whole scene in general, it's like he's so, like, you can tell the dad is so in that moment, and and the actor is so in that moment, and he really becomes this
Michael
character.
Stuhlbarg,
Like, he becomes him, and he becomes Elio's father.
Yep.
And it's just really, and throughout it, he's lighting a cigar and he's smoking, and but it's just all so natural and so, like, none of it feels forced, and none of it feels, it's for me like a masterclass in acting, that scene.
Yeah, it's that he did not even get nominated for Best Supporting Actor.
That's upsetting.
At the Oscars, yeah. I got nominated for Best Picture, Best Actor, which Timothée didn't won, Best Adapted Screenplay, which they won, and Best Original Song by Sufjan Stevens, which they also didn't win, which is also sad. Let's talk about the music.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the music. The music is, or the score and the soundtrack is phenomenal.
Yes.
They use a lot of classical music for just the feel of aristocrats and just smart people, people who study stuff, and it
fits with Elio's character a lot because he plays so many
talent, right?
instruments, and he writes and composes music, and it's like a sidebar, I guess, of his character, but it's brought up in the film multiple times.
Guadagnino chose the music himself, and he wanted to find an emotional narrator to the film, and it totally works. If you've seen the movie and then go back and just listen to the soundtrack, you can see the scenes. Yeah, you can 100%. Feel the imagery. Also, Sufjan Stevenson contributed with some songs: "Mystery of Love," "Visions of Gideon." Stevens, sorry, yeah.
Brilliant songwriter.
Brilliant,
absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, he's so fucking great, and I love his music. And yeah, obviously they also chose some classic 80s or 70s Italian pop music for some of the scenes, which also fits super well. Yeah, it's just a beautiful soundtrack.
It's great.
Yeah. Do you have something else?
I'm looking at some trivia.
Some interesting trivia.
There was only one rehearsal before shooting.
Oh, wow.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's interesting. Shia LaBeouf was also a casting choice, and they didn't they let him go, basically, or they didn't feel like it was suitable after his troubles that he had during the time. And then basically Guadagnino was impressed by Armie Hammer's performance in Social Network, which basically gave him already which is interesting because Social Network came out in 2010, but that role landed him that role. So, and I feel like because Social Network, he played the Winklevoss brothers, the twins, Winklevoss twins. So he played a double role, but he had such a small role in the movie, which still great performance, but such a small role. And Call Me by Your Name was his massive breakthrough. He had some great movies before that, or some big movies, but I feel like Call Me by Your Name was definitely the biggest mainstream success for him. Yeah.
On its premiere night, the movie received a 10-minute standing ovation, which was the longest standing ovation ever at the New York Film Festival.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that's cool.
Despite various sexual scenes in the film, Armie Hammer stated in an interview that the most uncomfortable he felt during filming was when he was filming the dance scenes. But his dancing was so great. It's so good.
It's so funny.
Sorry, that's funny.
Yeah.
In an interview in 2016, Timothée Chalamet revealed that Armie Hammer suffered wardrobe malfunctions from the shorts he wore throughout the movie, and his testicles had to be digitally edited out of some of the shots as a result.
That's fucking hilarious. That's fucking hilarious.
Because he wore those really. Do you remember there was a time he had those really short shorts?
Yeah.
That's really funny.
The cinematographer's name is, wait here, I can't even pronounce it, and I'm not going to. Sayumbu Mukipom, something like that. He also did Challenges, Trap, and they shot the movie, I think on film, I'm pretty sure, and only with one lens, a 35 millimeter prime lens, which they purposefully did to restrict them in certain ways, but also don't think about lens choices too much. So, and you can see it in the movie. It's very there's a purpose in terms of closeness. You're not just close because the lens is close. You move closer, you move away, and there are shots in the movie that are purposefully out of focus, and it's just the way it's shot is very intricate and very very unique. I feel like, and that reflection of choosing just one lens and 35 millimeters. That's what I said. Just I don't know. It just works. It's just you feel the I don't know. You feel everything through the movie. Yeah.
I have 3 trivias that are all really good. Okay, so Timothée Chalamet in the last scene by the fireplace, he had an earpiece playing the song Visions of Gideon, the Sufjan Stevens song, because it plays through the credits, and it was to help him properly understand and convey Elio's emotions and heartbreak.
Oh, that makes sense.
That
because
works.
It works so well with the song.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense.
Okay, another one that's fun. During the party scene where the psychedelic furs Love My Way begins, the opening lyrics are, "There's an army on the dance floor," and there is literally an army on the dance floor. Army Hammer.
Yeah.
Okay, this is just about the peach because we needed some trivia about the peach scene. Regarding the peach scene, director Luca Guadagnino went to Timothée Chalamet and told him that he had tried masturbating with a peach himself and found that it was indeed possible to do so. Therefore, he thought they should do the scene. Chalamet responded that he had also tried it and agreed to do the scene.
Wow. Okay.
Yes, and I have to now take back my... Earlier I said apricots, but it was peaches. But there was also a scene where they had apricot juice, and that was in the beginning.
Yeah, that's true.
So it was juice. Peaches was later.
Peach, let's go to movie of the week.
Okay. Movie of the week.
Okay. We watched All That Jazz, 28 years later, Dirty Work, and The Emperor's New Groove.
Sorry, The Emperor's New Groove, Dirty Work, and...
All That Jazz, and technically all 20 years later, but we
talked
skipped
about
that one.
Already.
Yeah. To me, it's All That Jazz, I have to say.
I thought that you would pick that, and I think I would have to as well.
I mean, the other 2 movies are great too, but All That Jazz stood out to me first time watching it.
Yeah.
You would choose it too?
I would choose 2 of those 3.
I mean, it's a Bob Fosse movie based on his life, with Roy Schneider in the main role, and it's I guess it's a musical, kind of.
Yeah, it's taking place in the time that he was trying to choreograph for Chicago, but that's never really explicitly said. And I also, from my memory, the song that they did perform, I don't think is actually in Chicago, but the set is very obviously Chicago, and the burlesque aspect.
Right, it's referenced multiple
very
times,
obviously what it's supposed
also,
to be.
I mean, also not burlesque. I mean, the cabaret is also burlesque scene, so he was always in that scene, but. Yeah, it's out of his time of having multiple work things and just being stressed, taking medication and just not taking care of his health, and basically falling into this existential crisis, I would almost say, where he deals with a life-threatening thing. And it's a very, like the one scene where he gets operated on or has surgery, and it's like this insane set piece of musical. I loved it so much.
That scene gave me I don't know if you remember this, but in Fiddler on the Roof, There's like a hallucination scene or a dream scene.
I don't remember that.
It gave me very much Fiddler on the Roof vibes, in just the wildness and weirdness, and
It's super weird, but I love,
very theatrical.
I loved it so much.
Or I guess not theatrical, but yeah.
I mean, I love Roy Schneider, and the reason why I got that movie was because a lot of people said, yeah, it's one of Roy Schneider's best movie, and I totally agree. I mean, I loved Sorcerer, which I watched last year for the first time, but this movie just is so different.
There were some things for me that made it kind of difficult to watch because, especially like I want to say the first hour or so, there were so many weird jumps where I'm like, what are we, like, where are we right now? Like, it was really hard for me to figure out, is this hallucination? Is this memory? Is this just something happening?
Yeah, I feel like the choice of
outside
that was,
of his realm,
I feel like the choice of that was just to convey the craziness of his stressful life. But yeah, there was just a lot of cutting back and forth and repetition of certain things that started his day essentially. It really struck me. It
was a good movie. I really liked it.
Really liked it.
And very self-reflective, like very
right. That's what I thought too. Like, if I
like he didn't make himself out to be like a super awesome person who, you know, he actually made himself out to be like, okay, he was kind of an asshole sometimes, but he also was kind of confused about where he wanted his life to go and the direction he wanted to take, and the other struggles that he's having with smoking and drinking and all of that, and women, and
no, for sure.
Very, very self-reflective.
He apparently was very much a womanizer, and he had problems with alcohol and drugs. So I thought so too, like how, like he thought, like the reason why he made that movie was like because he said, okay, if someone is doing a biopic about me, I'd rather do it.
Yeah.
And which is kind of cool because he was very, like, to a point, very self-reflective. Yeah. I like that. Letterboxd Reviews for Call Me By Your Name. You have something funny. I like this one. So strange that life goes on after finishing a film like Call Me By Your Name. It's weird because, again, the movie kind of lingers. The movie stays with you. The movie has a very, like, I feel like it's one of those movies that has a very impactful...
Well, that fits with this
aftermath
review. Someone quoted, "I remember everything," which is what Oliver said on the phone to Elio.
Yep.
They said, "I remember everything. I couldn't put this film into words if I tried. I couldn't ever review this or even explain how personal this felt to me. Every kiss, every movement, every laugh, every dance, every look, goodbye, embrace. If I could, I couldn't even begin. I remember everything." That's a perfect review.
I like this one. Imagine losing your virginity and you wearing double denim. That's kind of funny.
That's funny.
True.
It's funny. A lot of the reviews are just like, "This movie is fucking amazing." Like it's so. Would it send my Italian exchange student the wrong idea if I showed him this film?
This one obviously probably the best father-son conversation I've heard in my life. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't agree with this review. It says, "For Oliver, it was a summer fling, but for Elio, it was everything." And I don't believe that. I don't agree. I believe that it was a fling for both of them, but it was also everything for both of them.
Yeah.
It completely changed both of them and how they view their sexuality and their emotions, and completely turned them around.
I'm very, like, I'm halfway through the book now, and the first part is not about Elio, which a lot of people criticize, but I really enjoy the first part. And I'm very excited about the second part where they meet again, and what happens. But yeah, I agree. It's the fact that, like, the ending basically shows it wasn't out that.
Yep.
And the ending, if the ending would have not been that, then I would agree maybe. That's how I would.
This one's also funny because it alludes to a theory that a lot of people have. It says, "I knew Elio's dad had too much emotional intelligence to be a straight man." And a lot of people after his monologue thought that he was trying to tell, I mean, I thought that too the first time I saw it, that he
No,
was
me
trying
too.
to tell Elio that he's also a gay man or at least bisexual.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I would love to know if that's the case.
The thing
if
is,
that was the intention.
I feel like it because alone his reaction when they had like the gay couple over, and his reaction towards like, you know, we don't talk like this and blah blah, makes it seem like he has an emotional component in there somehow, or at least, you know.
Yeah. But at the same time, you know, he had the thing that he said about like, I came close to what you have, but I've never gotten there. And that was for me like, okay, does that mean that he came close to that with a man, but because he ended up not being with him,
or because,
that's why? Or was it just because the other thing could be he came close with his mother, like with Elio's mom, but it doesn't compare to what they have. And it's hard.
That's not what it is though.
I don't know.
He was clearly talking about him and the past relationship, but I wouldn't
say clearly because there would be nothing wrong with him saying that about the mom. Like we came close to what you have because their relationship is also lovely and beautiful.
I agree, but the in the context of the conversation, I feel like it's very clear that he's talking about a past relationship because he's talking about the past. And he's talking about his own life, his own experience.
Yeah, but then wouldn't that be a huge burn to his mom?
I mean, yes and no. Why?
Because he said I came close, but that would imply that if it's not the mom, it would imply that she's like a.
But that doesn't. I feel like that doesn't diminish her. That doesn't diminish that he likes her and he loves her. I mean, there are different forms of love and different forms of relationships.
Sure.
I don't know. That's at least that's how I see it. Yeah. Please subscribe. Please like the video or Spotify podcast or Apple, whatever. Please share if you like what you hear, if you like what you see. You can send us on our Instagram and our threads suggestions for movies. Mm-hmm. You can go on our website and like send us a number, and we then do that movie in our collection. And if you want to support us more, you can head over to Patreon, where Joe is still currently our member.
Do we still have the audio thing on our website where people can send an audio?
Yeah.
Oh, no, that was on Anchor when we were still using Anchor. Anymore. But you could still, like on our Instagram, if you want to send us like an audio clip or something, just of, you know, something you liked about Call Me by Your Name, your favorite scene, your favorite character.
That would be cool. We play it next time.
Or if you've seen the movie of the week and you want to just say if you liked it or not, then you can send us an audio clip and we'll play it on the podcast.
That's it.
That's it.
Thanks and bye.
Goodbye.